They are finally being caught, and what they did to you behind your back will leave you. Archangel Michael says, the time of shadows is over, and the ones who moved against you are now being pulled into the light. What they whispered, what they plotted, what they stole in silence is now exposed for the world to see. You stood in pain for too long, but the chains of their secret actions are shattering, and their downfall has already begun. You are standing at the edge of something extraordinary, something heavy with suspense, because the truth has finally caught up with them. For so long, they thought their hidden moves would remain invisible, that no eye would ever notice, no hand would ever point toward them. But now the very walls that carried their secrets are shaking, and the people who once looked untouchable are being dragged into accountability. The energy around this moment is thick, like a storm gathering before thunder strikes. You may already feel the weight in your spirit, the sense that something powerful is unfolding behind the curtain of your everyday life. And it is true, because the ones who betrayed you in silence are now surrounded by the consequences of their own actions. This is not just exposure, it is justice written into the very fabric of your path. The betrayal they once thought was clever is now a rope tightening around their own hands. The words they spoke when you weren't in the room are echoing back to them louder than they ever imagined, and the same trap they laid for you is now the one they are stuck inside. Type 333 in the comments now to claim the blessing of divine protection and let the downfall of your enemies never touch your spirit. They are being caught because the light has chosen this moment to shine brighter than their lies. No disguise can survive forever when truth decides to stand in the center of the stage. And you, the one who carried the weight of their betrayal, are now standing as the witness to their undoing. Every movement they made was under the illusion of invisibility. They thought you were weak, distracted, or blind to the games they played. But in reality, the heavens were writing every step down, collecting every moment, holding every whisper as evidence for this exact time. This exposure is not sudden, it has been building like waves crashing against a wall until it finally breaks. Their arrogance made them believe they could play with your destiny and never pay the price. But no matter how carefully they crafted their shadows, the light always waits for its perfect hour. Now that hour has come, and you must understand the seriousness of what is unfolding. They are not only being seen, they are being caught. The ones who plotted against you are standing in a place where their own footprints are betraying them. Type Amen 222 below to seal your protection and to release all that was hidden into the open. You may remember moments when you felt something was wrong but couldn't name it. A sudden silence when you entered a room. A missing detail in conversations. A strange distance that appeared between you and people you once trusted. Those were not coincidences, they were the signs of betrayal silently at work. Their confidence grew stronger because they thought you wouldn't notice. They convinced themselves that their web was perfect, without holes, without witnesses. Yet, what they didn't realize is that their own greed, pride, and malice were leaving fingerprints everywhere. The truth is now unstoppable. It has gained momentum, it has broken free from the prison they built around it. Their actions are no longer whispered, they are being announced. The same mouth that once lied now trembles as exposure forces it to stutter. Archangel Michael says, "Do not fear the storm, for it is not sent to destroy you but to cleanse the air around you." The ones who laughed in the shadows will weep in the open, and you will watch as divine order brings balance back to your life. Type Amen 555 if you receive this divine shield of truth and power. Their downfall begins quietly, like cracks forming in glass. At first, it doesn't seem obvious. But once the crack deepens, it spreads fast, unstoppable like the river that cannot be held back. And so it is happening now, slow at first, but building into a flood that will wash their illusions away. Do not be surprised when you hear the news. Do not be surprised when stories you once doubted become clear. Do not be surprised when names you trusted are revealed as names that plotted. This is all part of the unfolding, the curtain lifting, the stage being cleared of deception. They believed their mask was strong enough to fool everyone. But masks eventually slip when the heat of truth burns too close. Now their faces are revealed, and the eyes that once looked so confident now carry fear. The shocking truth is, they are being caught in the very same way they caught you. Their trickery, their lies, their betrayal, all turned against them, like a mirror that reflects what they thought would never be seen. Type Amen 999 if you believe this is your moment of justice, and that no betrayal will ever silence your destiny again. The sound of their downfall is already echoing, though many still do not hear it clearly. You, however, can feel it deep within, like a vibration in the air that something irreversible has begun. Their secrets are no longer safely buried, because divine justice has lifted the soil from over their graves and revealed the bones of their deception. The energy of exposure is merciless. It does not protect reputations, it does not shield the guilty, and it does not allow the mask of innocence to remain. When the truth comes forward, it does so with an unstoppable force, breaking apart every wall that was built to hide behind. And now, you are standing in the center of this moment, not as the victim they once imagined you to be, but as the living witness of their judgment. They cannot escape what is unfolding. They cannot hide behind excuses. They cannot run from the evidence that follows them like a shadow that refuses to leave. Archangel Michael says, the chains of falsehood are falling away, and the light is uncovering what was never meant to stay in the dark. Stand firm, for this is your moment of vindication, and the ones who laughed at your silence will soon weep at their exposure. Type Amen 444 to lock in your divine protection as this revelation continues. You may not yet know every detail, but the tide is turning. Those who wronged you are beginning to lose their footing. The balance they thought they had created is tipping against them, and the very systems they used to cover their tracks are now working against them. There is no stopping what has been set in motion. It is as if time itself has decided to collect a debt, and those who once celebrated in your pain are now staring into the consequences of their own choices. Their hands are trembling, their voices unsteady, because they finally understand that the story they wrote in shadows is being read aloud. Every false agreement, every backhanded action, every word they spoke to smear your name is unraveling. It is no longer hidden, it is a blazing fire, and no amount of lies can smother it. This is the moment where divine truth takes the seat of judgment. You are not forgotten. Your pain was not ignored. The universe has been waiting for the exact second to strike, and now it has come with precision and force. Type Amen 1212 to open your spirit to this season of justice. The betrayal they carried was heavy, but they thought it was clever. They believed they had silenced you, that your voice could not rise above the shadows they placed on your path. Yet, even silence has a sound, and heaven recorded every echo of your suffering. It is that record which now speaks louder than all their denials. When truth steps into a room, lies lose their power. When divine light shines, shadows scatter. The people who once thought they were untouchable are now trembling before the weight of justice. And this justice does not only come in whispers, it comes loudly, publicly, undeniably. The ones who tried to corner you are now finding themselves in the corner. The same net they wove to entrap you has become the very rope tightening around them. Archangel Michael says, "Rejoice not in vengeance, but in vindication." The exposure is not yours to control, it is heaven's hand moving through your life. Stand firm, because your freedom is not only being restored, it is being multiplied. Type Amen 111 to align with this victory. What is unfolding is not random, it is precise. Every hidden act, every betrayal, every whisper has been collected in the ledger of divine order. And when the time came for justice to unfold, it was not delayed, not denied, but released with unstoppable force. This is why you are seeing the changes now. This is why the ones who walked so confidently are now stumbling. This is why conversations are shifting, truths are surfacing, and the very people who once doubted you are beginning to see you were always right. The downfall of betrayal is never quiet. It carries a weight, a shaking, a trembling that is impossible to ignore. Those who wronged you cannot sleep in peace anymore, because the sound of exposure is louder than their excuses. Their story is collapsing, and you are rising. Their lies are dying, and your truth is glowing. Their shadows are dissolving, and your path is clearing. Type Amen 1010 if you are ready to walk forward unchained and untouched by their downfall. The ones who betrayed you behind your back are no longer safe in their illusions. The ground beneath them is shaking, and the weight of what they did is pressing down on their shoulders. They thought their cleverness would keep them hidden forever, but the truth has sharp eyes, and it has been watching silently until this moment. You can almost feel the unraveling around them. The same confidence they once carried is gone, replaced with fear, doubt, and trembling. They are realizing that the lies they spun have tangled them instead, and every word they spoke in secret is now coming back like an echo too loud to silence. This is not a random collapse, it is a divine orchestration. The timing is exact, the exposure is precise, and the weight of justice is inescapable. They laughed when they thought you were broken, but now it is they who are bending under the weight of what they once celebrated. Archangel Michael says, "The sword of truth has been unsheathed, and nothing forged in deception can stand against it." Their downfall is not your doing, it is the order of heaven correcting what was stolen from you. Type Amen 333 to step into the blessing of restoration. Their faces are changing now. You may even notice how those who once carried arrogance in their words now hesitate before they speak. Those who once looked at you with mocking eyes now find it difficult to hold your gaze, because something within them knows they are exposed. There is no hiding from exposure. They can try to deny, they can try to cover, but the cracks are already spreading too wide. Their reputation is falling apart, their plans are dissolving, and the silence they once forced upon you is now the silence surrounding them. What they did to you was never light, it carried weight, it carried intention, it carried the power to wound. But heaven has been balancing the scales, and now their own wounds are opening as a reflection of what they caused. This is why their downfall feels so heavy. Because it is not only about exposure, but also about balance. What they gave out is what they now carry back, multiplied and undeniable. Type Amen 777 if you receive the balance of justice in your life. Every secret has a breaking point. Every hidden plan has a moment when the cover is torn away. And now that time has arrived for them, because the walls they built around their lies are falling brick by brick. It does not matter how careful they were. It does not matter how many allies they gathered. It does not matter how long they believed they had succeeded. The truth has no expiration, and it waits patiently until the exact second when exposure will strike hardest. Now, they are standing in that second. They can feel the walls closing in. Their alliances are failing them, their strength is weakening, and the same people they trusted to cover them are beginning to distance themselves. This is the design of exposure. It isolates the betrayer, it corners the liar, it strips away the mask until only the raw truth remains. Archangel Michael says, "Do not fear their noise, for it is only the sound of their collapse." The noise of your enemies is the announcement of your freedom. Type Amen 555 to claim this moment of release. You are stepping into a season where you will no longer carry their shadows. The weight of their betrayal is not yours to bear anymore. What once followed you like a chain of heaviness is now breaking away, piece by piece, because the truth has shifted the burden. Look around carefully, you will notice how situations that once felt stuck are suddenly moving. Conversations that were silent are opening. Opportunities that were blocked are appearing. This is the evidence of the exposure, the proof that what was hidden is no longer in control of your path. The betrayal they committed was meant to stop you, but instead, it has become the very fuel for your rise. Their actions created a storm, but you are walking through it untouched, while they are drowning in the same waters they stirred. They are finally being caught. Not just in the eyes of others, but in the weight of their own conscience. And you are finally being lifted, because heaven never allows truth to remain buried forever. Type Amen 999 to rise above the storm with divine favor. Their downfall is building like thunder rolling across the sky. It begins as a low sound, almost unnoticed, but then it grows louder, sharper, and impossible to ignore. That is how exposure moves. It starts quietly, then arrives with force, shaking everything in its path. You may not see all of it yet, but the cracks are already too deep for them to repair. The lies they told are no longer holding together. Their plans are slipping, and the hands they once used to control situations are losing their grip. The mask they wore is tearing, and the true face of betrayal is showing for everyone to see. This is the price of moving in deception. No matter how high they built their tower, truth has found its way to the top. And once truth arrives, no wall can stand, no shadow can remain, and no secret can continue to hide. Archangel Michael says, "This is not the end for you, it is the end for them." The ones who tried to erase your light will now face the fire of their own shadows. Type Amen 888 to step into the glow of your vindication. For so long, you carried their weight unknowingly. You felt the heaviness in your spirit, but you could not name the source. You sensed the resistance around you, but the faces behind it were hidden. Now, those faces are being revealed, and the truth is rising like the sun after a long night. Their whispers against you were sharp, meant to cut into your name. But whispers never remain whispers, they grow into echoes, and echoes spread farther than they imagined. What they once said in private is now floating in the open air, and the very people they once used as allies are beginning to question them. This is how betrayal eats itself. It cannot remain united, because deception always carries division. The same energy they released against you is now tearing through their own circles, and the unity they once used against you is dissolving into fragments. The silence that once held you down is over. Now it is their turn to taste silence, as doors close against them and their power collapses. Type Amen 2222 to close the door to betrayal in your life forever. You must understand, this exposure is not small, it is layered, deep, and precise. It is not just about being caught in one act. It is about the unraveling of everything they built on top of lies. Each stone is being removed, each secret uncovered, each shadow destroyed. Their strength is gone. Their confidence has turned into fear. Their power has turned into trembling. What once seemed impossible to touch is now breaking apart like glass under pressure. The moment of justice is heavy, and it comes with clarity. You will see things you never knew before. You will hear truths you suspected but could not confirm. And when you hear them, it will not be to hurt you, it will be to free you. Archangel Michael says, "Stand still and watch." The storm is not against you, it is against the ones who moved against you. And when the storm is over, you will still be standing, untouched by their downfall. Type Amen 4444 if you receive the shield of divine safety during this exposure. Their eyes are watching the walls close in. The people they trusted are stepping back. The words they once used so freely are failing them. And every step they take now feels heavy, because they know the moment of accountability has arrived. Do not pity them, for they had the chance to turn back, but they chose to continue. Do not fear them, for their power is gone. Do not envy them, for what they once had is now dissolving before your eyes. Instead, lift your spirit. Because their exposure is your release. Their collapse is your opening. Their downfall is your proof that heaven never forgets, never ignores, and never abandons those who stand in truth. The ones who laughed in the shadows are now trembling in the light. And the one they tried to break, you, are rising stronger than ever before. Type Amen 3333 to step fully into this season of divine justice. Their collapse is no longer something hidden, it is becoming visible, piece by piece, moment by moment. The walls they leaned on are breaking, and every corner they once used for safety is vanishing. You may already feel the change in the atmosphere, as if the air itself carries the weight of their exposure. Their voices are weaker now. The confidence that once filled their speech has turned into hesitation. Their steps are slower, their energy unsteady, because they know the light has turned against them. The very path they once thought was secure is crumbling beneath their feet. This is the moment heaven has prepared, the moment when their strength fades and your freedom rises. The things they buried in darkness are no longer theirs to control, because the light has torn away the covering. What was once whispered in secrecy is now being shouted in the open. Archangel Michael says, the justice that unfolds now is not only for the past, it is to clear your path for the future. You will not walk with their shadows on your shoulders anymore. Type Amen 666 to break every chain of betrayal in your life. You have waited for this turning point, even when you didn't know it. Your patience has carried you, your endurance has protected you, and your spirit has survived even the sharpest arrows of betrayal. And now, that survival is being rewarded with a release so powerful it will change everything around you. They believed your silence was weakness. They believed your stillness was defeat. But what they failed to see was that silence is not weakness, it is preparation. While they worked in shadows, heaven was gathering the evidence, waiting for the right moment to strike. And now, that strike has landed. The cracks in their world are no longer reparable. Their alliances are breaking. Their plans are falling apart. Their grip is slipping. They are losing control of the very things they once used to harm you. Type Amen 9999 to step into the season where betrayal has no hold over you. Their downfall is not just personal, it is public. They cannot hide it, because the exposure is too loud. Their names are being spoken in ways they never expected, their actions being revealed in places they thought were secure. And the same people who once trusted them are now questioning their every move. This is the cost of betrayal. It is not just the act, it is the echo. The echo grows, it spreads, it carries farther than they ever thought possible. What began in secrecy has now become a wave that cannot be stopped, and that wave is crashing down on them with full force. The same silence they forced on you is now surrounding them. Their calls go unanswered, their words are dismissed, their power ignored. They are being isolated by their own actions, and there is no escape left for them. Archangel Michael says, do not fear what you see happening. Their fall is not your burden, it is your freedom. Their silence is not loss, it is justice at work. Type Amen 2020 to accept your freedom in this new season. Even now, as their secrets rise, you are stepping into a higher place. Your spirit is being lifted above the storm, your path is being cleared of obstacles, and your destiny is breaking free from the chains that once held it. The exposure is not to weaken you, it is to strengthen you. Every hidden hand against you is being shown. Every silent trap they built is being dismantled. Every shadow they sent toward your light is being returned to them multiplied. And as this unfolds, you will find yourself walking lighter, freer, stronger. The story they wrote in the dark is over. A new story is being written over your life, and it is written in light, in freedom, in justice. You are not a victim, you are the witness to their collapse and the survivor who will rise above it. Their ending is your beginning. Their collapse is your breakthrough. Their silence is your song of victory. Type Amen 5555 if you believe your victory is sealed in this moment. Their end is no longer a secret, it is unfolding in front of them like a mirror they cannot escape. The reflections of their betrayal are staring back at them, and every time they try to turn away, the truth follows. What they once controlled is slipping from their hands, and what they once hid is being dragged into the light. They cannot deny it anymore. The voices of those who once stood with them are now questioning, doubting, and slowly stepping away. The strength of their influence is weakening, because exposure always drains power. No one can hold authority when their foundation is built on lies. You are not watching their collapse as a bystander, you are watching as the one who endured their betrayal. The pain you carried is being exchanged for justice, the silence you endured is becoming a loud announcement, and the tears you once shed are transforming into strength. Archangel Michael says, "Do not be shaken as their downfall grows louder." This is not chaos, it is order returning to your life. Let the storm rage, for it was never meant for you, it was meant for them. Type Amen 1010 to align with divine order in this hour. The cracks in their world are spreading wider. Each day brings another revelation, another piece of truth, another weight pressing against them. They try to patch the holes, but nothing holds, because the collapse has already begun. It is almost like watching a tower fall. First, it trembles. Then, pieces break away. And finally, the whole structure comes crashing down. That is where they are now, the shaking, the breaking, the falling. And there is nothing left to keep it standing. You, on the other hand, are rising through the same storm. Their collapse is not your collapse. Their downfall is not your downfall. You are walking in the opposite direction, lifted higher as they sink lower. This reversal is no accident, it is justice. It is the balance of heaven, ensuring that what was stolen is returned, and what was broken is restored. Type Amen 333 if you are ready to rise as they fall. The exposure is spreading farther than they expected. It is reaching ears they did not want to hear, eyes they did not want to see, and places they believed were safe. Go where you are sent and stay where you are planted. Speak when you are full and rest when you are poured out. Build what lasts and love what is real. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Rose. My beloved child. The chains that once held you in rumor have broken. You walk now on ground that no longer shakes beneath your name. Every shadow that mocked you has dissolved into powerless smoke. The world whispers differently about you today. No longer do they say, "That one is surrounded by lies." Instead, they declare, "That one is lifted by truth." Do you feel it, child? The air around you is lighter, the silence is cleaner, and the weight has fallen away. You survived what was designed to silence you. My beloved child. Justice has not only cleared your name, it has opened doors you never touched before. Invitations arrive with sincerity, not pity. The stage that once excluded you now waits with open lights. There is a table prepared in front of you with opportunities lined like golden cups. Contracts that were once delayed arrive swiftly, stamped with favor. Voices once silent now call you by honor. You are no longer the victim of gossip, you are the testimony of triumph. You are not the echo of betrayal, you are the sound of survival. My beloved child. The betrayer still sits in confinement, staring at the walls that echo only their own words. Their pride is broken into fragments too small to rebuild. Their voice, once loud, is now drowned in silence. But you, child, are not chained by their outcome. You rise above their consequence. You step forward into a tomorrow that does not carry their shadow. Do not fear their return to memory. Their place in your story is finished. You carry the pen now, and you choose what gets written next. My beloved child, the crown upon your life is brighter than before. You were tested in fire, and you emerged as pure gold. The storm did not sink you, it polished you. Every tear you cried has watered seeds you did not know you planted. Now those seeds are breaking the soil with blossoms of promise. You will sit under their shade sooner than you imagine. Do not doubt this shift. The evidence of your rise will be undeniable. Even your enemies will have no choice but to admit, this one is chosen. My beloved child, your future holds movements bigger than your pain. Nations will hear your name with respect. Communities will welcome your presence like rain after drought. What was once hidden behind gossip will now shine in testimony. The story of your vindication will strengthen others. The lesson of your survival will guide those lost in betrayal. You are not only rising for yourself, you are rising for others who need proof that justice lives. You are walking as the evidence that heaven defends its own. My beloved child, there will be moments where you look back, and the memories will try to whisper. But remember, whispers cannot command you anymore. You belong to the roar of truth. Smile when you remember the storm, because it gave you the strength you never imagined. Walk boldly into new doors, because they were carved out of your pain. Speak with certainty, because silence has already been conquered. You are the chapter they cannot erase. You are the miracle that betrayal could not stop. You are the light that even sirens could not dim.